As part of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, increase in the standard deductions available to most taxpayers, the Act repealed a number of itemized deductions and modified a number of itemized deductions as well. Some itemized deductions that were suspended, for example, employee business expenses, investment expenses, advisor fees. The employee business expenses repeal would have significant impact on professional athletes that otherwise can deduct certain expenses, such as agent fees, that were otherwise able to deduct them as employee business expenses. There's also the suspension of the overall limitation on itemized deductions, which would benefit most taxpayers. The theft loss deduction was modified such that the only theft loss deduction that can be claimed is if it is in a federally declared disaster area. So, for example, some of the theft losses that people may have incurred in prior years, and particularly with some potentially Ponzi schemes, are no longer available. In terms of modifying some of the deductions, there was initially some talk of repealing the home mortgage interest deduction. However, they came out with the deduction, the maximum amount of debt that you can take that deduction on would be $750,000, as opposed to previously where it was $1 million. As well, the state and local tax deduction has been capped at $10,000. And again, this would have significant impact on professional athletes that play in the U.S. and play in various states and normally have a significant state tax liability that they would incur, and unfortunately are not able to deduct that any further. As well, for Canadians that may be working in the United States that are still a resident of Canada would be impacted by that as well, because since you're only limited to the number of itemized deductions you can take as a non-resident, the one big deduction you were entitled to was state and local tax, and now which is capped at $10,000. In addition, there was an increase to the adjusted gross income limit for charitable contributions to public charities and certain private foundations. That limitation was increased from 50% to 60%. So again, in summary, again, for professional athletes, the repeal of a number of some of these miscellaneous itemized deductions would have a negative impact, even though the overall tax rate is less. They've lost the ability to deduct those itemized deductions.